What's up? Welcome back to the channel, Delski TV. Excuse me having my hood on right now, man. I'm in desperate need of a cut. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the NBA top 10 players. I've been seeing so many of these damn lists that I was like, man, let me make my own list. These lists are terrible. So today, you're going to be getting my list of who I think is the best. First, I want to give honorable mentions to these guys who barely missed the list. These guys right here. So we got AD, fringe, man. I almost put you in, man. Defense, offense, you just too up and down for me to put you in there. We got Dame. You was hurt last year, so I don't know exactly what you're gonna look like this year. The preseason, you ain't been looking that good. Donovan Mitchell, almost there, almost. You don't have enough defense to justify your offense. Your offense is streaky too. Jimmy Butler, always there at the end of the year. Always there at the end of the year, so I really wanted to put him in. He barely missed. I think he would be 11 for me. Then you got Shea, first team All-NBA. It speaks for itself. Creator, young guy. He gonna be on this list next year, but not this year. So all these guys, they have a case of being top 10, but they just barely missed it. All right, let's get into the guys who actually made the list. And before I get started, before you motherfuckers start saying anything in the comments, my list is based off who I think games translates the best in the playoffs. I don't really care too much. I don't really give a fuck about the regular season. Yes, it's nice to have them play 82 games, and yeah, that looks good on the stat sheet. But my list is based off the players who games translate the best to the playoffs and are winning players, and you can win with these guys. So 1 through 10, the players I would start a team with in the playoffs. All right, let's get into it. At 10, we got Devin Booker, Kobe 2.0, 34, 7, and 5 last year in the playoffs with 2 steals. He's the prototypical 2 guard, a guy who can play 1 or 2. He can create for his teammates, he can create for himself, he can make clutch buckets, and he can get you timely stops. Even though he's not known as a defender, in high-pressure situations, he's one of those guys who can get you a stop. He's a classic player in the sense that this is what the old school players was like. He's the exact size, 6'5", able to do multiple things at the guard position. He's perfect for this Suns team. They're going to be really good. At number 9, we got another Kobe guy. We got Jason Tatum, 27, 10, and 5, 1 steal, 1 block a game last year in the playoffs. The reason I got him at number 9, his consistency of always being in the playoffs is one thing. Ever since a rookie, remember him as a rookie dunking on LeBron James in the playoffs. Even though they lost that series, I mean, every year, Eastern Conference. So we got to put him there just based off the consistency of how he is. On top of the fact he's 6'9", he's a 6'9" wing who could play 1 through 4 for you. Maybe not 1 because his handle I don't really like too much. He's a little bit too loosey-goosey with the ball. He's not as efficient as I would want him to be. That's why he's at number 9. But still, he can get you a stop when you need a stop. And he can create his own. He can create his own offense. He can create a shot for his teammate. And he can stop momentum as a scorer. Those are the guys who are the most highly coveted when it comes to playoff time. Jason Tatum's one of those guys. He's in that KD, Tracy McGrady, role, mold, Carmelo Anthony. He's not as smooth as those guys. He's not as efficient as a scorer as those guys. But for the time being, he's number 9 on the list. At number 8, we got Larry Bird 2.0, or as I like to call him, White Bron. To me, his game is just like LeBron, just not as athletic. Like control the game, know where everyone is. Gonna make sure we get something on every possession. That's how Luka's game is. 33, 9, and 8 for a career in the playoffs. Even though he didn't make the playoffs last year, it was a fluke. Kyrie came over there. Things didn't really work out the right way. But we got Luka over Tatum and Booker only because Luka's basically been a one-man show, and he's shown he can carry a team. Tatum had help, a lot more help than him. Also, Devin Booker has had more help than him. So we're giving Luka the nod over both of those guys. On top of the fact he's super clutch in the playoffs. We saw what he did to the Clippers. We saw what he did to Phoenix. Devin Booker still hate this nigga. And I love to see it in the playoffs where they go head to head against each other. But right now we got Luka at number 8. Can get you a bucket anytime. Can create anywhere. Luka, number 8, Luka legend. At number 7, we got the process. Joel Embiid, the MVP. 23, 10, 3 assists, 3 blocks. Not spectacular in the playoffs last year because he's always hurt. He was hurt the last playoffs. He was hurt this playoffs. The reason why I got him number 7 because he has MVP. None of those guys have MVP, so he's going over them automatically because of that. Plus, his game translate very well to the playoffs. He just has to be healthy. He can score. He can rebound. He can protect the rim. He can score mid-range 3. He can space the floor for you. He can switch out onto picks. So that's the reason I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt basically off his game and his skill set because I know how well that type of skill set translates to playoff basketball. But all the hurt shit, you got to stop, Embiid. You can't be eating fucking Oreos the night before the game and then coming to the game talking about your stomach hurt. Get your weight under control. Get your conditioning under control. And then I can put you into the top 3 where you're supposed to be. I mean, you won MVP last year, and I'm putting you at 7. So right now we got Joel Embiid, number 7. At number 6, LeBron James. It's crazy I'm still even putting him on this list. 38, 39, year 21, still doing it. LeBron James, I got him at number 6. 25, 10, and 7 last year in the playoffs. 1 steal, 1 block. I mean, you already know the accolades. The game winners and everything. But right now, I got to put him at number 6. Only because I still trust LeBron in a series over all them young guys. Over Embiid, over Luka, over Tatum, over Devin Booker. I still trust LeBron at this age over those guys in a playoff series leading my team. Because, he's still LeBron James at the end of the day, man. And I trust him to control everything the right way and make sure you get a shot or you get a stop and everybody's in the right place. So LeBron, number 6, still, year 21. It's crazy. At number 5, we got Kawhi Leonard. I know. This is where the list is going to start getting controversial. Healthy, everyone 1,000% healthy. This is the list. Kawhi Leonard, 35, 6 and 6 with 2 steals. He only played 2 games last year against the Phoenix Suns in the playoffs, but you saw what he looked like. Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs is one of those perfect players, man. Big, long, 6'8" guy, 7-foot wingspan, can get a bucket, can get a stop, can guard every position almost he can guard almost every position instead of the original or classical bigs that like to back down. This guy can do it all. He's a 40% three-point shooter, mid-range shooter. He can create for his teammates, can create for himself. He makes big shots. I mean, to me, Kawhi Leonard, 1,000% healthy, just like everyone else in the league, he's top 5 when it comes to playoff time. His only problem is he just can't stay healthy. And that's not his fault. I mean, God just ain't built him that way. I mean, you can see this guy, man. He drops 40, walks off the court. You think he's fine, and then next day, Kawhi has a torn ACL, a torn meniscus. If it wasn't for injuries, Kawhi would be at least 3 or 4 rings right now, if we're being honest. So I got to put Kawhi top 5, easy for me, easy. At number 4, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak. 23, 11 and 5 last year in the playoffs, but he was hurt the first game. His team won a game when he was out injured, and then he came back the next 2 games, and they basically lost every game that he played after that. The year before that, he was 32, 14 and 7. So he has a proven track record. He scored 50 points in a closeout game in the finals. He has all the accolades. Offensive game needs something to be desired, but he's so powerful and so dominating that it doesn't really lack too much. Only when it comes to pressurized moments, he's not a go-to player. That's why I think Dame is going to be real good for him. Chris Middleton was that for him in the past. But the fact that he can get you 15 rebounds, he can get you 30 points just by playing hard. He's like Shaq. Shaq just so dominant. You got to have him here. And he's won MVP. He's won Defensive Player of the Year. You got to give it to him. Giannis, number 4. He's still here. The babyface assassin. Steph Curry, the light-skinned killer. He's still here, man. 36 and 6 last year in the playoffs with 1 steal per game. He's proven that he's a clutch player now. When KD was there, he was letting KD, take over every clutch moment. I was like, is Steph really a closer? Against Boston, he proved he can close. Against the Sacramento Kings last year, he proved he can close. The last couple playoff runs, he's showing I can also close. Still got Steph there, can shoot anywhere. He's an offense onto himself. He creates so much space for everyone on his team. He makes things so much easier for everyone. Still got to have Steph there. The most conditioned athlete I've ever seen. This guy just moves off screen after screen after screen. He's not really even a point guard. He just moves so much that he shifts defenses side to side and let his teammates work off of his gravity. I know everyone likes to say Steph gravity, but it's a real thing, even though it's overhyped sometimes. Steph, number 3, still, he's a bomber. Still that guy. At number 2, we got the Slim Reaper, the Durantula, Kevin Durant. I know. Kevin Durant, number 2? Why is he so high? Listen, Kevin Durant, when everything's right around him, he's the best wing player in the league. So all those guys who play anything from 2 to 4-ish, he's the best in the league. If everyone's doing their job around them and they're 1,000% healthy, equal talent for everyone, I'm taking Kevin Durant. I'm sorry. A guy who can block shots, he can get you a stop. One-on-one, he can get you a stop. Everyone can't get a stop all the time. Kevin Durant can still get you stops. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, Kevin Durant plays defense. Yes. Watch the games you'll see. 29, 8-5 last year in the playoffs on the brand new team. I don't even want to really count too much of that because that's a brand new situation. The year before in Boston, that was terrible. But you got to think about it. Kyrie, James Harden, everything was terrible there, and it was terrible. At number 2, we got the Durantula, the Slim Reaper. Yes, Kevin Durant. All things being equal, everything's 1,000%. Everyone's 1,000% healthy. I'm taking Kevin Durant over any wing player in the league. I mean, it's easy for me because I see the skill set and how it translates to playoff basketball. A guy who can get you a bucket, a guy who's a rim protector if you need him to be. He can play big or small. He can create for himself or his teammates. 29, 8-5 last year in the playoffs. Even though he barely got to the team, he don't even know how to play with these guys yet. You get that type of production from a guy at 35 years old. Listen, I know Boston, he didn't look good. But you got to think about it. Kyrie, Ben Simmons, James Harden. We saw when everything was looking healthy and good in Brooklyn, he was one game away from beating the Milwaukee Bucks, who went on to win the championship by himself. When everything's right and everyone's 1,000% healthy, give me Kevin Durant. I'm sorry. Kevin Durant, number 2, in my eyes. And at number 1, you got to go with him, man. Nikola Jokic. I mean, what can you say, man? This guy, 30, 14, 10 assists, 1 steal, 1 block a game last year in the playoffs. I mean, at 7 foot, non-athletic, can barely jump onto the curb. And he's giving you those type of numbers, abusing everybody in his path. Ayton, get the fuck out of here. Anthony Davis, get the fuck out of here. Bam Adebayo, get the fuck out of here. Rudy Gobert, get the fuck out of here. Man, this guy, he's abusing everybody. He just comes into the post and does this. He's a go-to guy at a center. To be a center and a go-to guy is crazy with that little hook shot. He makes 80% of his free throws. He makes 45% three-point, 55% field goal percentage. What can you say? Creator, shot maker, clutch, dog. He'll fight you if you need to. He's Russian. I think he's Russian. I don't know. No mistake. Oh, he's from fucking Serbia. He's from Serbia. Listen, man, this guy, he has it all. He's everything you want in a basketball player at this moment. I can't put anybody above him because he's proven it back-to-back. He should be 3-time back-to-back MVP. They gave it to Embiid because Embiid been crying for it, even though Embiid sort of kind of deserve it. If you go strictly off a regular season, he led the league in points per game, and he's a great defensive player and all that other stuff. But Jokic, when the time comes, he's the guy right now. No one can get the crown from him as it stands today going into the 2024 NBA season. So there you have it. That's my list. 2024 top 10 NBA players. See you in the next one. Do the YouTube stuff for me. Peace.